So now I would like to take you through how I got my guitar tone in tribute to Ozzy Osbourne and to the great Tony Iommi. Let me start with turning the camera around, and I'm going to show you my setup with all of my equipment. There were two guitars that I used, as some of you may have noticed. There was number one, my beloved Ibanez Premium Universe 7-string electric guitar, the green and the black one, and number two, my trusty Fender Stratocaster Lake Placid Blue colour. So down here we have my Mesa Boogie Studio Caliber DC2 combo amplifier. This amplifier was built between 1994 and 98, making it either as old or almost as old as me. It's a valve amplifier. The valves are at the back of the preamp, and it's seated atop of the chest. And the reason I keep it elevated off the ground on this chest, or whatever piece of furniture that I can find is reliable to put it on, is because raising an electric guitar amp off the floor, especially when you're recording heavily distorted sounds for the genre of heavy metal, this helps it to result in a clearer sound. It reduces the low frequency so-called coupling with the floor, minimizing problematic sound reflections. It's also worth noting that inside of this chest, it is filled with padded duvets for beds. They are like your go-to material for absorbing sound, and this can help the microphones to pick up the sound more directly from the speaker cone of the amplifier behind the grille there, and it will result in a clearer, more high quality sound. Pressed against the grille of the amplifier is my Shure SM57 dynamic microphone, and about 4 inches away from the grille, which is done deliberately by the way, is my Scarlett Focusrite condenser microphone. And the reason I keep the condenser mic about 4 inches away from the grill is to really help the recorded sound, the recorded track, to achieve or to have a healthy amount of bass. If you push the grill of the microphone against the grill of the amp, it can result often in an overload of bass tones. This is also especially important with a condenser microphone because they have a more sensitive diaphragm inside than what the dynamic microphone has. So really the idea is to not overload the sensitive diaphragm with high sound pressure levels, because this can cause not just distortion to the recorded sound that you get, but it can also damage the diaphragm inside of the microphone. So moving it away from the grill results in better tone control. It results in a more natural sound. It results in being able to capture some of the room's natural reverb or ambience as well. So there's a lot to it. Sitting in front of everything is my Pedalboard, which is a slightly stripped back version of the full thing. The newest addition to my collection is the TC Electronic Sentry noise gate pedal right there, which I only used in the second video for the songs Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Hole in the Sky and Killing Yourself to Live, where I was specifically recording playing my Fender Stratocaster guitar. And the reason being was because I realised that because I was recording in a limited setting, which is inside of a household, I couldn't push the master output level here on the Boogie as high as what I desired because there are neighbours. I needed to keep the volume powerful because the Sentry was clipping it somewhat. Yeah, and I found that that was more than sufficient for what my purposes were. To the far left hand side down here we have my Mesa Boogie foot switch. This came in very handy when I was recording the intro to Fairies Wear Boots, for instance, and especially for God Is Dead, where there needs to be a very quick switch or transition between the two channels, from clean to distortion or overdriven and vice versa. On the amplifier itself, you can see that the top row of equalization controls, indicated by the lower gain setting there, this is channel number 1, which is the clean tone. Channel number 2 is the overdriven sound. You can see my settings here. Because it's really worth me emphasising here that I wanted to rely mostly on my guitar amp for my tone. That was at the core of my approach. Using the amplifier to its full capacity, pushing the volume, especially with it being a valve amplifier. The higher that you push that volume on a valve amplifier, they respond to the velocity of your pick strokes on the guitar, for instance, with more sensitivity than what a solid state amplifier would. Gain is set very high on channel number 2, number 9. The reverb and presence are also very high, around 9 or 8. Bass is set to just below 6, mid is set to just above 7, treble pretty much bang on number 6. The gain is lowered for channel 1 where the clean tone or cleaner sound is used. Treble is around 5, mid 7 or just above, bass just above 5, presence around between 8 and 9, and the reverb is cranked right up to the top setting to give the clean guitar a much wider echo. The majority of the riffs I relied on the Mesa Boogie Amplifier for, especially in this video, part 3. I used these pedals minimally for the first 2 videos. Right hand side there you can see my chromatic tuner. To the left hand side of that is my passive volume pedal. Left of that is my Dunlop Crybaby wah-wah pedal. To the left of that is the One Platumnus overdrive. To the left of that, Electro Harmonix Big Muff Pi. Far left hand side, TC Electronic Flashback Mini Delay, and just above that we have the TC Electronic Vortex Flanger pedal. This was going to be used for Killing Yourself to Live originally, but then I decided to change the riff of that tune that I was playing. So another fun fact for those of you diligently looking into each video and every riff and studying carefully the effects that I used, you'll notice that I used the TC Electronic Vortex Flanger pedal in segments of the riff to Behind the Wall of Sleep from the first Black Sabbath record. So the riff, for example, it kicks in with the pedal on. You'll hear the flanger is activated, and then you'll see me in the video stamp my foot, which is indicating that the pedal gets turned off, and it's in the little guitar licks that are in between the chords in that riff. So the in those little licks the flanger gets turned off, and then when the chords resume it gets turned back on. The intro to Fairies Wear Boots relies on a delay heavily, so that's where I used the flashback. And the Big Muff Pi was used mostly in the first video where I was playing riffs like Children of the Grave and Lord of this World.